In what had been a very quiet day on the Berg, now moves are starting to happen. Practice squad places are starting to be filled, and former Steelers players are finding new homes. All here on the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to this news video from the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Like I said before, it had been a quiet day on the Berg, certainly not as busy as yesterday. But scrolling through Twitter again, living on Twitter yet again for a second day in a row, there is suddenly more news coming through about the Pittsburgh Steelers filling up their practice squad and news about former Steelers players finding new homes elsewhere around the NFL. Remember, guys, this Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, we are your one-stop shop for all your Pittsburgh Steelers news. So remember to hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the fantastic content or any of the latest news, views, and updates from your heroes in black and gold. Where to start? Well, as this video is titled Return of the Mac. Yeah, return. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to sing anymore. That'll make you turn off, won't it? Return of the Mac. Let's bring that one up first of all, shall we? Dan Saffron has tweeted out today, NFL agent Dan, that Anthony McFarland Jr. is signing back to the Steelers practice squad. Good news indeed that Ant Mac is back in the fold and has re-signed with the Steelers practice squad. Certainly yesterday when news emerged that Ant McFarland was being cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers and Benny Snell was being kept over him, certainly there was a great deal of outrage in Steeler Nation. Yes, I've heard that Benny Snell is good at playing special teams, and so what? He's a rubbish running back, and that's one of the things we need to take into account. The fact that he's actually a running back, he's getting paid to be a running back, but he can't be a running back. Whereas Anthony McFarland, I think, has had a very strong training camp, a very strong preseason. He's looked good running in straight lines. He's showed good turn of pace. He's been a real change of pace back, something the Steelers don't have in Warren, Harris, and Snell. So therefore, this move today of re-signing Anthony McFarland Jr. to the practice squad is an excellent move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Mac is back. Anthony McFarland is back on the practice squad, but not just Anthony McFarland. Also, another move yesterday that was questioned by some in Steeler Nation, the cutting of John LeGlue. Many felt that this was a ridiculous decision to cut LeGlue, given the fact that he was, number one, very solid and very able towards the end of last season on the Steelers' offensive line. Add to that the fact that John LeGlue offers you excellent position flexibility. The fact that he can play right guard, right tackle, left guard, and left tackle offers you superb position flexibility. However, he was cut. Other arguments I heard from Steelers fans around the Steelers Nation was the fact that they'd rather have kept John LeGlue over Kendrick Green, who has, quite frankly, stank the joint out this preseason. So LeGlue is back, and he is back on the practice squad. So that means, obviously, the Steelers, if needs be, could make a cut from the 53-man roster and add LeGlue back into the active 53-man roster. However, it's not just these two players that have been re-signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers roster. Add to that also now, Alan Saunders of Steelers Now, another, again, a very reliable source of Steelers information, says, looks like the hashtag Steelers are bringing wide receiver Cody White and outside linebacker Hamilcar Rashid back to their practice squad. Cody White, who was on the 53-man roster towards the end of last season, was cut yesterday. Certainly a surprise move for some. But now Cody White has returned to the practice squad. Certainly it is to be remembered that White started last season on the practice squad and was brought into the 53-man active roster when Juju Smith-Schuster went down injured against the Denver Broncos. Add to that the move to bring Hamilcar Rashid, former New York Jet, back onto the practice squad. Rashid started and took a lot of snaps on Saturday in an effort to prove that he was worth a place on the 53-man roster. However, it seems that although the Steelers don't think he's worth a place on the 53-man roster just yet, they do think he is worth a place on the practice squad. So this places 4 Steelers players on the practice squad, leaving 12 spaces still open for the Steelers to fill, either with former Steelers players or players picked up from elsewhere. Certainly 33 players have been claimed so far from waivers by teams around the NFL. 2 of those players are former Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, Chris Oladokun, former 7th-round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, when he was released, caused a great deal of anger in Steeler Nation, with many people saying what a waste of a 7th-round pick, has found a new landing spot in Kansas City. Certainly, Oladokun is in a great place to actually develop as a quarterback, given the fact that he'd be working with Andy Reid and also Eric Bieniemy. Andy Reid, who has been often nicknamed the quarterback whisperer In addition, it will give Chris Oladokun the opportunity to work alongside and learn from one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. I certainly wish Chris Oladokun all the very best. I would rather have kept him on the roster than Mason Rudolph. Former third-round pick Justin Layne has also found a new home. Jeff Hathorn tweeted out, former Steelers corner Justin Layne is claimed by the Giants. It was reported from the UPMC Rooney facility today that Layne arrived with a bin bag to clear out his locker, and it is now emerged that the New York Giants are taking a punt on the former third-round pick and adding him to their secondary. Quite whether he will be on the 53 or on their practice squad, we are not yet sure, but this is certainly something to keep an eye on for those of you who were fans of Justin Layne during his time at the Berg. Well, Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, that's the latest about the practice squad and former Steelers finding new homes. I wish Oladokun and Layne all the very best. Thank them for their service to the black and gold, even though Oladukun's was a very limited service, thanks to the fact he was very shabbily treated, in my opinion. I'll be back if there's any more breaking news as regards players on practice squads. Thank you for listening. And remember, if you have not yet subscribed to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and come and join the best new channel for all your Steelers news, views, and updates, the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate.